In a move that has sent ripples to the global defense industry, the United States has signaled its intent to officially veto the sale of the General Electric F-4 engine, a critical component of the Saab Gripen E fighter jet, to the Fuerza Aeroespacial Colombiana, FAC, Colombia's Air Force. This decision, aimed at nudging Colombia toward purchasing American-made Lockheed Martin F-16 jets instead, has sparked debate about its broader implications, particularly for India's Tejas Mki, which relies on a variant of the same engine. With the U.S. wielding significant influence over the export of its technology, questions are mounting about whether this veto could cast a shadow over India's ambitions to market the Tejas Mki internationally, especially to nations aligned with or contested by American interests. The F-414G39E, a derivative of the widely used F-414 family, powers the advanced Gripen E, a lightweight, multirole fighter developed by Sweden Saab. Colombia had been considering the Gripen E as part of its effort to modernize its aging fleet, but the U.S. veto effectively scuttles that option by denying access to the engine, a move seen as leveraging American control over key aerospace components to secure a strategic sale. The F-414 engine's versatility and performance have made it a cornerstone of multiple fighter programs worldwide, including India's Tejas Mki, an upgraded version of the indigenous light combat aircraft, LCA, being developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, HAL. The Indian variant, the F-414N6, is slated to power both the Tejas Mki and initial batches of the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft, AMCA, with production set to occur in India under an 80% technology transfer agreement with General Electric GE. The U.S. decision to block the engine sale to Colombia has raised eyebrows in New Delhi, where defense planners are eyeing export markets for the Tejas Mki as a means to bolster India's defense industry and geopolitical influence. The fighter, designed as a cost-effective, single-engine platform with modern avionics and multirole capabilities, has been pitched as a competitive alternative to offerings like the Gripen, F-16, and France's Rafale. Countries in Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America, many of which maintain cordial ties with the U.S., are seen as potential buyers. However, the Colombia precedent suggests that the U.S. could use its authority over the F-414 engine to restrict India's export prospects, particularly in markets where American firms like Lockheed Martin or Boeing are vying for contracts. India's agreement with GE, finalized in 2023 following years of negotiations, allows HAL to co-produce the F-414N6 with significant local input, a deal hailed as a milestone in U.S.-India defense cooperation. Yet, the arrangement remains subject to U.S. export controls under the International Traffic in Arms Regulations, ITAR, meaning Washington retains a final say on where the engines, and by extension, the Tejas Mki, can be sold. The veto on Colombia illustrates this leverage in action. By denying the F-414G39E to Saab, the U.S. has effectively sidelined a European competitor in favor of its own F-16. This raises a critical question. Could the U.S. impose similar restrictions on India if the Tejas Mki begins to challenge American fighters in the export arena? For India, the stakes are high. The Tejas Mki, expected to enter service in the late 2020s, represents a leap forward from the Mki, offering greater payload, range, and combat capability, attributes that could appeal to nations seeking affordable yet advanced fighters. HAL has already secured domestic orders for over 100 units, and with production capacity expanding, exports are a natural next step. However, the U.S. veto power over the F-414 engine introduces a layer of uncertainty. Nations friendly with Washington, or those already operating U.S.-made aircraft, might face pressure to avoid the Tejas Mki if it risks straining bilateral ties or triggering an engine embargo. Similarly, in head-to-head competitions with American jets, the U.S. could wield its ITAR authority to tilt the scales. This isn't a hypothetical concern. Posts on X have highlighted sentiment around the Colombia veto, with some users noting its potential to disrupt not just the Gripen but also other F-414-powered platforms like the Tejas MKI. While the U.S. has approved the engine's co-production in India, a sign of deepening trust, its willingness to greenlight exports to third countries remains untested. Historical precedents suggest caution. The U.S. has occasionally blocked technology transfers to protect its strategic and commercial interests, as seen in past restrictions on allies like Turkey over Russian arms purchases.